Hey everybody, it's Doom here, and we're back in the Monster Manual 3.5. And we are on the Girallon. No, there's no eon. It's just Girallon. That's not how you spell gorilla, is it? No, gorilla is G-O-R. Oh, well, I-L-L. Whatever. But anyways, this is the cousin of the gorilla, the Girallon. And so we need to cut him off of his little... These are just some gorilla toys, and I think they're from the Dollar Tree. I don't know. Oh, okay. This happens every great once in a while. See how his feet are just so much on there that we can't really... Let me hold that up so you can see. We can't really get that off there, so we're going to do something a little different today. I had prepped to do our base normal, but we're going to do something different. We're going to get a little bit of hot splue. We're just going to shove him onto the base before we do our baking soda stuff today. We're still going to do the baking soda stuff, but we're going to do it a little different today, that's all. Alright. Unfortunately, that's sucking right up under there because I did not use enough glue. So don't make the mistake I made. Use enough glue. We can get you a toothbrush. Clean that off. Okay. Oh, we got a little piece of cardstock stuck in there. We'll just yank that out if we can. There we go. Nice. So that came up a little bit right there, and that happens from time to time. I don't know why. Sometimes maybe I don't brush it hard enough, or I don't know. It just doesn't work out every time the way I want it to. So I'm just going to get some to soak back under there and trying to get in the grooves and try to salvage what I can of that, because I don't want to have to redo the base, if I'm going to be honest. And while we're doing that, we might as well get a couple small stones, right? All right. So let's make sure these aren't loose. That one's a little bit loose. So all we got to do to fix that really, so we can just get a little teeny smooch of super glue. Or not super glue, I'm sorry, baking soda. Okay, now that should be good and solid. Nope, but still not. Dang it. No, I'm joking. I'm not hurt. But you expect me to be, so. Okay. Let's try that again. Get a stick. Smear that around. Okay, now it's all stuck. Just the way we want it to be. Alright. So we need some extra arms. But these are not beautiful gorillas, as you can tell. But they were cheap. And that is kind of my thing, right? That one doesn't want to go anywhere because that arm is down so far. So, as much as I'm afraid to do this, we're going to have to adjust this arm some. And we're going to try to have to make it look good. So let's get that lower arm on there first. Try to finagle this to look okay. Alright, I think that'll do it. I'm just putting a dab of hot glue. Now this guy had like a birth defect. He's got like this weird hole in his side. Now we're just going to clean up and hide our seams. Try to give it a little bit of that texture it had initially back if we can. If we can't, that's fine too. And then we got this little weird spot where I didn't cut it out of there. And instead of going back in there with a knife and trying to get it now, we're just going to fill it with glue and then rub it around. Now in the reference art, this dude had 2 sets of pecs. But my little dude didn't even have a big enough set of pecs to play with to get this working. So, I'm not sure how to pull that off and make it look good. Or if we even could. There are some little seam spots I kind of hit with a file walking into this that I didn't do a great job on. I'm just going to try to like melt those a little bit with my gun because my glue gun is like old and super hotter than it should be. Like it is a high temp gun, but it's like, I don't know, man. It's super hot. It's like Paris Hilton hot right now. Alright, so this should be a pretty easy craft. So I think what the plan here is, instead of going to a part 2, since this has been less than 10 minutes, let's hit him with a black bomb real quick and see if we can't just bring him to where we need him to be. Okay? Oh, this is not cached. Alright, this can is just about 5 degrees from shot. We're going to hit him with the +2 hot air gun and burn him real quick and start painting him. I think it's coming out a little thick and weird, uneven. And that's what happens. You got to really shake your cans well when you're using them every time. Don't let stuff settle in little corners of the can, or little weird spots inside the can. Don't be that guy. Now I have a little weird spot under his arm here. And I just want to try to clean that up real quick before we get them going. All right, so we know they're like albino. So our base coat is going to be a medium gray. And what I plan on using is this pewter. But we want to make sure that glue's dry first. So just get a brush that'll give you decent coverage. And paint them a medium or a medium to light gray to get us going. Now that I'm looking at this, probably the smartest way would have been to go with like a blue-gray. Let's stop for a minute. Let's look at a regular mini. Okay, he's size large. He's about 8 or 10 foot tall, easy. Just making sure we are still on the scale we're supposed to be in. Sometimes I'll make stuff, and not so much since I've been making videos, but when I would do it on my own, I would just like see parts and make something, and then it'd be like completely, out of scale for normal play. Now, I'm making this stuff to show you guys how to make stuff for normal play, with some exceptions. Because some mobs need to be different sizes. For example, if you're making a giant or a troll or an ogre, well, not so much an ogre, but like trolls, I think trolls should be enormous, like Norse trolls. Like just great, big, and scary. I don't think they should be like 8 foot tall with a long nose and not really a threat. I don't want to fight any worm online trolls. I want to fight scary trolls. I don't want my people to think, oh my gosh, that enormous thing heals, we're in peril. Of course, I don't use all my trolls to heal because I don't like people to know what my trolls can do. I don't run my mobs the same every time. Now, when it comes down to the Tomorrow Comes Doom stuff, yeah, I have been. But for D&D, I've been so disenfranchised with D&D for so long that I just run things however I randomly feel like running them. But again, with Tomorrow Comes Doom, because I am doing a lot of balancing and stuff for the book, I gotta, stick to what I've designed for balancing reasons. But that doesn't mean that once I get it all done and the book is published this winter, I'm guessing, that I won't come back and start changing things up to make it fun again. Alright, so we got something like that for our base coat. He's light, like he's got a butt on him there. Everybody likes a good gorilla with a butt, right? So let's get a piece of cardboard. Let's get this sky blue here. Just a dot of that. And a light gray. This is called country gray. Let's get a dab of that too. Okay. We'll set it off to the side. Hit him with the +2 hot air gun and burn him real quick. Okay, and I'm not even washing that brush out. I'm just grabbing that same brush. And I'm going to do something to give them some variation. Again, I would have liked to have used a blue-gray for that initial base coat, but I did not. So in our variation coat, where we start breaking them up and making them look a little fancier, we'll add some blue in. And that'll look alright, I think. There we go. Just lighten him right up. I don't think I've ever seen an albino gorilla. There was a movie called Congo. If I remember correctly, there were like all the gorillas were white, but I don't think they were albino. I think they were just like white or gray or something. I don't know. I haven't seen it in a long time. All right, we got some good variation there, I think. We can get rid of that brush. I always hate ruining my water when I just made new, clean, nice water. Makes me a little sad. So we're going to get white. Maybe, if I can find it. And we're going to get that blue and that gray, a dab of white, something like that. Make sure it's all over the brush. And pull a lot of that off. And start painting Homeboy up with it. We're going to get some of the blue, some of the white, and do that again with none of that gray in it. It's a really crappy model. Oh well. Not like we did the best job converting it either, right? Get his little butt cheeks real white. There you go, bud. Everybody will see your nice shiny butt. Maybe in a Girallon society, having a really white shiny butt means something. Like you're friendly. Or you're not friendly. Alright, so albinos have pink skin underneath, I think. So let's hit him with the +2 hot air gun of burning. And start looking at the base, and let's talk about... Oh, look at that seam on his arm. That's terrible. These seams are not nice. They're a really chintzy model. It would have taken a lot more prep work to get him... going very well. And let's be honest, with how crappy this model is, how much time do you want to spend? Do you want to have the Girallon on your table for a couple junk pieces of plastic? Or do you want to have a professional quality Girallon? It comes down to how much hunting you want to do for your Girallon base model here. For your gorillas you used. That's really what that comes down to. For me, you know what? This is not beautiful. And compared to some of the other miniatures we've made together here on the channel, it's not great. But you know what? This channel was never about making the best miniatures, was it? As I've been going on and on and on, I forget that sometimes. I get disappointed in myself. But if you remember back to the Akiera and the Aboleth, I mean, those barely even look like miniatures. They look like stupid pieces of garbage. But they met the prerequisites to be what we needed them to be on the table, and I didn't complain too much. But as we've been going through the series, and I've been kind of like, I don't know, getting lucky with my choices, I guess you could say. Anyways. I'm going to grab a medium brown now and break that up. I'm not going to tell you why, because you already know. Okay, I'll say it because I really want to. Because dirt's not all one color. Not at all. Dirt is lots of different colors. There's blues and grays and tans, all kind of colors in dirt. Alright. We're grabbing my favorite color on earth. Pavement. We're going to hit some, put the +2 hot air gun and burn into this real quick. threw my brush across the house. Caught it like a ninja. Caught it more like an old guy who just lucked out and reached out and grabbed it as it flew. There wasn't anything too graceful or ninja about it. Oh, got a little gray on the base. That's okay. We'll cover that up later in the flocking part. And then I never put my medium gray away. We just want to give that some variation too. Then we could probably mix that with a little bit of that white. Find that color to pick out the highlights on the rocks with real quick while we're at it, you know what I mean? Pick up any little bit of texture you want to pick up there. Clean out a brush. All right, so I guess pink, I don't know. I'm just not sure. Not sure how I feel about this at all. I am intimidated by this part now. Help, help. I'm being repressed. So what I think I'm going to do... Do I have any nice army painter pinks? Not really. Okay. Let's get risky here. I'm going to get this cameo pink. And all I'm doing right now is outlining his face. In a light thin coat of this pink. Then I'm filling it in, but not perfect. I'm going to drag it across his fingers lightly. Because I don't think they have fur on their fingers, but I'm not sure. I think they have, like, their fingers look kind of like ours. I'm not sure. I've seen them before. I've seen gorillas, but I had this weird thing where I haven't seen them for a few years, but when I did see them, like when the boys wanted to go to the zoo a lot and stuff, I think it was kind of I wanted to look them in the eyes and see how intelligent they were, because I always felt like they're like really intelligent and stuff. And I know they say not to look them in the eyes, but I'm behind like a big chunk of glass, so I don't feel too afraid, you know what I mean? They're not going to come beat me up, hopefully. I did have one sneak out from behind a wall and punch the glass so hard that it made me jump and yell the F word in the middle of the zoo with my 22-year-old, which at the time I think he was about 7 or 8. And I jumped up with him on my shoulders and yelled the F word, and all these people looked at me like I was a big a-hole. Oh well, it happens. Happens to the best of us. All right, so my thought there was that we were going to take that pink and then maybe dry brush it with a sun-kissed peach as a skin tone with no browns added, which might be a little risky. It's not covered very well. I probably should have hit it with the hot air gun before I do this part. Okay. You got to hide your love away. Man, I've had that song in my head for like a year and 10 months. I don't know if it's been that long. Alright, so let's figure out how we're going to do that mouth. And I think that we're just going to grab an off-white here. And a tiny brush. I'm already kind of using a tiny brush. It's not the tiniest, but it's tiny. We're going to drag it across where his teeth are. We're going to stick it down those eye holes. Okay. We're going to hit it with a +2 hot air gun and burning. Oh my God, look at that mold, whatever that is. This is terrible. This is, I mean, I'm sorry guys. I have what I have to work with. And this is, you know, this is what I had was these horrible gorillas. Let me get my fractional brush. Okay. Now you don't have to make your eyes blue. You can make your eyes whatever color you want. I just made mine blue. And then I'm going to get a little dab of schmuggets right there. This is pilot bone, not schmuggets. I know, you thought it was schmuggets. So did I. I'm going to drag that into that area where his teeth are. And I'm just going to get a piece of t-shirt and lightly dab that. And then the little bit of texture in between the teeth showed. There wasn't much texture there. So that was kind of a crapshoot to start with. Now I got to make sure I clean out my fractional brush. Mmm. Yummy. How'd we do? Well, I didn't buy anything special to make this. I just used old Gorilla parts we had laying in the boxes. So for me, it was free. Unfortunately, you might not have had those parts and you had to go hunting for Gorilla parts. I hope your Gorilla parts were nicer than my Gorilla parts. That's just clear glue. And I'm just getting a cheapy brush. And I'm going to pick out where I want grass to be on my base. And when I say grass, I just mean green, where I want green to be on my base. So spots where you messed up and got gray on the brown, or spots that you don't like the seam, or how that the bottom of that model touched your base, that's where you want to be doing this green stuff. This flock. We're just using this as a tool to add some color to the model. And maybe we could throw a couple bushes on this guy to get fancy. What do y'all think? Do something with this piece here. Mush up something with this. Take that. Add a little color with that. And let's get a piece of Spanish moss and do a little vine thing. Maybe. We'll see. I don't want to get too fancy. I don't want you guys to think I do anything nice, because I try not to. Alright, so for this part here, all I'm doing is taking some of this, whatever this stuff's called. And you see this stuff out and about when you're doing stuff. I'm going to put a dab of glue back here. False alarm. Do I have an open glue? Now I do. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get a dab of glue back here and saturate that area. Then we're going to shove this into a ball the best we can. Get as much of that stuck as we can. We're going to use the glue cap and pull some of that away from him. And as we're pulling that away, just let a little bit of glue flow out. Okay. And then let's see what we can do with a little bit of this vine here. And I'm just going to lay it across here like this, kind of lazily. I'm going to look for spots where it connected. Oops. All right. Something like that. Now there's a little sticky up piece there. It looks kind of like it's aiming at his butt crack. I'm going to go ahead and leave it. I like it. It's a butt crack pointer. So if people didn't know where this Girallon's butt crack was, they'll soon know. If you like what we're doing here, please hit like, subscribe, share, comment, notification bell icon. Hit the website in the description. Buy some minis from us. Come to our Discord, which is also linked in the description. Hang out with us. Play video games, paint miniatures, do some role-playing game stuff. Adventure. And there's the Girallon. And there's our really, really chintzy Girallon. Hey, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. The next entry is the Gith Yankee, which I have no idea what we're going to do, but that's kind of how they all are. So, hey, F it. Let's build something.